what's the name?
The name of the single is "Can I Stay?" Question mark.
Okay, can I stay? Question mark.
Yeah, or I mean, it's just
Yeah,
you don't have to say question mark. It's just "Can I stay?"
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna say that. Right. What's up? Episode 2, The Lowdown. I'm chilling with
Joe from the Velvet Collide, your percussionist.
Chris from the Velvet Collide, your vocalist and rhythm guitar player.
Rod from the Velvet Collide, lead guitar player, backing vocals.
All right. So, tell me how you guys all met. How did this group start?
Well, I've known him for a while now. I've known him since middle school. But the way we came together, well, I had to join them. They had already started. I don't know if you want to go back and tell them the roots of it.
Yeah, dude, let's wind back the clocks.
So like
Years ago.
Long time ago.
in a land far away in a galaxy, right? But so we're all friends. We've known each other since we were kids. I've known Joe since I was about 12 or 11. No, I take that back. Since I was 12. I've known Rudy or Rod since I was 11 years old. And yeah, so this thing organically happened. Rod and I had talked about, since we were 14 and I was 14, he was 15, about starting an indie band. And it's something that, I never, said, okay, let's do it. I never put my, I guess you could say, toes or my whole body into the water yet. So one day, it actually happened over drinks, shockingly. We were at a bar and he brought the proposition back to me. I was 22, he was 23 at the time. And we were talking about the project. He told me, we should totally do it. Now was the best time. I had just gotten back home from school because I was out of state. And then, I sat down. We were drinking this, I guess it's iconic in our Velvet Collide lore now. It's a beer from Austin, Texas called Scratching Hippo. Was it Scratching or Scorching?
No, Scratching Hippo, and it's got some Sigmund Freud looking guy. He's
yeah.
Slick back hair with those super thick eyeglasses.
You said it's from where?
It's from Austin, Texas.
Of course. Some
Hipstery. So yeah, it was some weird beer, and it's funny because of all the things we were thinking of drinking that day. The bartender actually recommended, and he said, "This is very limited stock. We don't have a lot of it, and you guys should totally try it because it's So we decided to try it, and then
in doing so, that's when we came up with the idea. Let's start the band, dude. We always wanted to anyway.
Yeah, now we're never.
So in other words, you guys got drunk. You guys were drinking some primo craft Scratching Hippo beer, and that's what basically
started the wheels.
All right. Dope. So, for people not familiar, what would you like? How do you describe your music? What type of music is it? Because as I know, I listen to the music, fucking fire, really good songwriting, super, heart-driven lyrics, eclectic, really just a bunch of different influences. That's just me. That's just my personal taste.
Yeah.
But how do you tell the people what your music is like?
Well, influence-wise, we have a lot. Between the two of us, that was when we started, and we tried to come to a compromise with those influences. And I feel what worked out the most was Rat Pack music, Frank Sinatra, the Rat Pack band, Nat King Cole and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what kind of fuels or kind of cements itself in Summer's Romance a little bit, and you can kind of tell a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can also tell where the other influences come in from, Arctic Monkeys, The Strokes primarily, because it has that staggering yet syncopated rhythm where it's just like da 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 da.
Yeah, I could totally hear that. I was listening to the songs and I was just I don't I'm not good at describing music. I don't like labeling people or anything.
Yeah.
Or their art or whatever. But I definitely was just this kind of sounds like Julian Casablancas a little bit. So I definitely got that vibe. At times I got kind of some nostalgic, like, you know, throwback, like, I don't know, just like 60s, 70s, some psychobilly vibes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's awesome, dude.
I got some psychobilly vibes. I got some hardcore vibes. I got some psychedelic vibes. I got some singer-songwriter vibes.
Yeah.
Like, I got some like punk vibes. It was just like
A lot of stuff.
like, and I like that because I'm very ADD. So when it comes to like when it comes to music, for me to like be stimulated, like good songwriting, and then just switching it up, just being very like, I don't know, just being very versatile, which you guys definitely are. So, like, as far as like, I think a lot of people would want to know like how like your upbringing, or like how growing up in, you know, Southgate, what's that like? Did that influence your your musical taste, or like, you know, how what type of music you make at all?
I'll say, growing up in Southgate, I would say, and I would argue that it actually drew us closer to each other. Believe it or not, in Southgate, the music taste wasn't as diverse as, like, I guess what we're trying to put out. And I'm not saying that in an egotistical kind of way.
He's dissing Southgate.
No, I'm not. I'm really happy and proud of Southgate, because this is where I met, you know, these guys. And we're childhood friends. We were born there, you know, or raised there, if anything. But at the time, you know, that I would say growing up, what you would hear mostly at Southgate was like, you know, hip-hop, rap, R&B, which isn't bad at all by any means, but it's what was popular, and it's like kind of like everybody was into that. And I feel like the three of us were kind of a little bit against the grain. And from that alone, I think that's where we kind of connected even more. Like, the story of how Joey and I even became friends. Like, the first day I met Joey, I literally had a binder with like a Stroke sticker on it. He looks at me and he's like, "Hey, you like the Strokes?" And he was wearing a Cure shirt underneath his school uniform.
You're like poser.
No, I was like, "Oh, you like the Cure?" And he was like, "Yeah, they're my favorite band." And I was like, "Oh, the Strokes are my favorite band."
Yeah.
And from there, right there, we clicked. And everybody around us though didn't get that. Everybody was listening to, like, Kanye West was coming up at that time, like Jay-Z. Everybody was listening to that, like
It was
T.I.
the clicks. The clicks.
Yeah, it was
That's
like
what it was.
clicks, and like we were just outsiders, kind of.
You were either punk, metal,
or
or just a hip hop head, you know?
yeah, and we were neither of those, to be honest. We were just ourselves, and I think that's what we came together with as a consensus. Like, we gravitated towards each other naturally because of that. And I know when I met Rudy, I met him when I was 11 years old, and the same thing. Like, he's really big into metal, but not just any kind of metal. Like, I know he started with power metal, but then he got into like progressive metal and like neoclassical stuff too. And we would talk about classic music, but like he mentioned earlier too, like we're really big into like crooners and like 50s, 60s, 1940s music. So we love Frank Sinatra. We love, we love that stuff. We love, like, you know, Bobby Darin, like all these things that you can think of, and it's just like things that brought us closer together. And then, like, me at the time when I was in middle school, I was really into punk and ska, and again the Strokes, they're like my favorite band. But yeah, it's from the get-go, it's just always like a clash of stuff. A collide, yeah.
Of stuff.
Yeah, but taking back to what he was saying, the way I actually originally met him was, like he said, in middle school. He was actually the first musician that I ever played with. I had never played in a band before, and so I would have never thought that I would end up playing in a band. Like, what is it, like 15 years later?
But were you just like, you were like playing music by yourself, or like you met him and you were like inspired to make music? Like,
No,
music?
I had already picked up. I started off playing guitar, like I think a lot of us musicians start off, but I wasn't even really into like the Strokes and stuff. I guess nobody had really opened me up to that. I was listening to other stuff like the heavier stuff like Motorhead, Metallica, The Cult, and a mixture too of like other like new wave bands. But I think once I started, after I met him, it got me more into music and wanting to play in a band. And then moving forward, I went through different genres. I played for punk bands, I played for metal bands, I played for just indie. There's a variety of different things, and it's just crazy. Just when I met him, how I got into music, and then I would have never thought I would end up here, you know. But it's a good thing,
That's
and
good,
I'm really happy for it.
It's yeah, no, it must be like hard, like, you know, all being into like a completely different sort of music that everybody else is not really listening to. So it's definitely tight that you guys kind of like were able to like find each other and
Find
even
the
though
common ground.
It seems like you guys have like all kind of like super like different like just, you know, a variety of like musical inspirations and influences. So that's dope that you can, you know, you were able to kind of like make it work together, and you know, here you are, you know, just making some really great music and just, you know, still being friends and everything.
Yeah, like for us, first and foremost, we're friends. Like that comes before anything else.
Yeah.
Like I care really deeply about their well-being, and I know they do for me too. So like I think that's just what makes the music stronger, really, because like yeah, you know, doing certain things in music and like kind of like in the music industry, especially when you're doing it on your own, it can be really stressful, and we kind of get at each other for that. But at the end of the day, like we're really happy to be here together.
Yeah, the music industry it's insane.
Yeah.
It's like, and if I feel like if you don't have like the right people around you,
Yeah,
like
it's hard.
you're gonna lose your mind.
Yeah.
You need artists need constant support.
Yeah.
Like artists need encouragement, they need support, they need a family, they need like infrastructure, because I feel like this world just doesn't support artists.
No.
Artists are totally undervalued. You know, artists bring something really special to the world, and they make it easier for everybody else that isn't an artist to kind of just like guide through life and like make sense out of it. So I think you guys are doing a really big service to the world, you know, as all artists are. I wanted to ask you, how is the creative process for you? Like you guys are a band. There's 3 people. You know what I mean? Like as I was mentioning before to you guys, like I make music, and just like my like multiple personality, ADD ass can't commit to one idea because there's so many different routes that you can go. So how is it that a musical idea is born and fleshed out for you guys? All right, so you were telling me that you didn't want to force Metro Love.
Yeah. So piggyback off of what Rod was saying, yeah, there's something to that. Sometimes you can't force a song either. Sometimes a song, and a good friend of ours actually told me that once, you kind of have to let the song be what it wants to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes through this creative process, you have a mindset, right? Your mind is already going somewhere with it. You already have this thing in place where you want to like make a song, like a banger or like this love song, like whatever it may be, right? Any genre of music. Sometimes though, what you're creating is already informing what it will become. And sometimes it's actually a little bit good to like do it, leave it alone for a little bit, you know, a day or two, maybe even a week, however long it takes for you to like let it go, come back to it and listen to what you have.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I go about writing some of the lyrics too, for some of our songs. But yeah, in the case of Metro Love, he just said it best. He was trying to force it into being something, you know, it wasn't.
Yeah.
He made it into this swing kind of 3/4 thing, jazzy, Brazilian jazz, bossa nova thing. And it ended up inspiring our former bass player into writing the lyrics for it, because that's what he felt. The song was informing him that it was about love, and it just ended up that way, and it sounded romantic and it fit. And you know what? The other crazy thing is like they were thinking about, like Joey can say too, I remember he was like, oh, I'm gonna add some drums to it. And he's like, Chris, what are you gonna add to it? And I was like, you know what? I actually think this song is good. We don't need to do anything. This song, it needs to just be guitar and vocals. It's good the way it is.
So Joe was salty, huh? You guys left him out?
Well, I mean, I wasn't in it either.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Like, the song needed to be just vocals and guitar. That song particularly.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm really glad we decided that.
I think it was dope. I was kind of like waiting for some drums or something, but like I was like pleasantly surprised like at how it worked out. I really liked the vocals, and I felt like the vocals were doing like this kind of like dance with like the guitar. Like they were both doing their own thing, and it was just like really like working. But I'm a sucker for like those like really just like charged like emotional vocals. I think it's kind of like what connects people to the music. Are you guys like honest with each other when you guys like like when you guys like bring up an idea, will you guys like tell each other like, hey, like, you know, like I don't know if I'm really feeling this?
Yeah.
No, I think we're completely honest with one another, especially when it comes to that. Like we either come with a full idea or we don't come with one at all. And when we do come with an idea, we're just like, okay, let's work around that, and if we can't compromise, then let's start from the beginning. Let's, you know, start from basics. And from there, that's when we wind up making a whole different song. And I think it's cool in some cases, but in this case, for our latest single, Chris actually came up with an idea, and he told me like, dude, I have these chords, they sound fucking dope, but how do we make it into a really good song? And at the time, I was studying music again, and I was like going through my notes and shit, and I thought about one of those cadences that go from being happy to being completely sad again, you know? But it revolves around itself, and it doesn't matter that there's no resolution, because in life you don't always get to resolve your problems. So I think that's what I liked about this song. Like, dude, we can totally go here and pretend like we're resolving something, even though we're just coming back to the same conclusion.
That's kind of the beauty of it. Going off of that too, like our latest singles, I came with the idea in my mind, but there was just that one little piece missing, and that's when like I feel like I could come to Rudy and Joey too. Like it's always like that too. A different perspective helps you see things you never saw before, and that kind of helps you fit the puzzle pieces to the whole. So, like he said, yeah, I came with an idea. I came with a chorus. I came with a vocal melody. I didn't have a lead. I didn't have a bass part, but I knew exactly what those would do, kind of. But I didn't know what they would sound like. But one thing I knew for sure: the rhythm and the drums need to do this. I need chord structure for the verse, and that's where what he was just said. That's where he helped me. And then after that, I told him, "Oh, sick." And then I was like, "Dude, slap the bass on." And then he slapped the bass on and came up with the bass parts. But the song was already telling us what it needed. And from there, I told him, "Okay, this is what I want the bass to kind of do, and I'm gonna let you run with it." And I didn't even have to tell him twice. Like he already intrinsically knew this is what the bass needs to do, and it was beautiful. It was like magic happening already.
So you guys let the song basically write itself.
Yep.
You guys just feel it out. You guys aren't like, all right, this is gonna be the intro.
Yep.
This is gonna be the chorus. This is you guys just kind of like let the song write itself.
And to an extent too, like by no means there's no structure. There has to be a structure for you to be. At the end of the day, for you to have something done, you need to set limits. That's just no matter what. Or else, with anything creative, whether it's painting, like art, architecture, anything in life, graphic design, you need to set boundaries and limits for yourself, or else you'll never get done.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that. You just like are like overstimulated. And it's just like
it's a never-ending cycle.
It could be a million different ways, a million different songs out of the same idea. So what is the single called?
The single's called Can I Stay?
When can we expect that single?
The single's coming out August 24th.
So we're in for a treat. Okay, I wanted to ask you, like, what do you want your listeners to like get out of your music?
What I really just want is people just to enjoy and be able to just chill and be able to listen to your song. to our songs, and that's all I really want.
Just people to vibe out and just listen to the music and just have a good time and feel good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is there like certain like themes that you like come to like in your music? Like
Turn on what? I'm sorry.
is there like certain like themes or like certain like topics that you guys like come to like when you guys like write your music, or is it just kind of like all over the place?
Well, it's a little different for when for writing music. For me, they kind of just do like the whole works with the music and put it all together, and they just throw it at me. I soak it in, I feel it, and then once I get a feel for what I feel needs to be a natural rhythm or beat for it, that's just how it goes.
For me, it's a completely different stance. I feel like musically, I want people to feel whatever I'm feeling at the moment. But at the same time, I don't want you to get discouraged, you know? Like me being a guitar player, I set the bar super high when I started playing. And I set it so high that I wanted to play solos right off the bat, you know? And I feel like our music lets you do that. Like our music is like, oh shit, they could be soft, indie, and stuff like that, but they could also shred, you know? Without any boundaries. You know? And for me, it's just like, actually, it goes back to a meme I saw earlier today. And it kind of upset me because this guy said, when I was a kid, all I wanted to do was play guitar. And now I finally play guitar, but I play guitar badly. And I'm just like, dude, you can totally play guitar as best as you want. You just gotta set that bar high enough. And for me, I feel like our music does that. Our music inspires people to do things that they didn't think were possible. You know, we're just an indie band from Cali, but at the same time, we're a bunch of dudes who got together and said, we're gonna do it. And doing it is the first step. And a friend of mine actually reached out to me. She said, dude, your music brings so much emotion out of me. I can't wait to see you guys play again. And that to me, like, I don't know how to feel about that. You know, like I feel like, damn, dude, that brings out something in me that I never thought would ever come out.
Yeah.
And to hear that, that's just...
That makes you feel good. Like you're making an impact. You're connecting with people. I think music helps people get through their lives.
Definitely.
So like I think like as an artist, that's probably like one of the best feelings that you could get, to like have somebody reach out to you and be like, yo dude, like your music helped me get through my day. Your music made me feel some sort of way. Made me feel confident. Made me feel good.
Yeah, definitely. Fast or slow. Take it at your own pace.
At your own pace, yeah.
And as best as you can play it. It doesn't matter. You're making a difference.
And to add to that, how I feel about our music, I agree with Rudy and Rod, and I agree with Joe too. Like, for me personally, going off of what he said, there has to be restraint in yourself. There has to be limits. And the fact that we can like go all out and bring it back in, it's like, it's magical. I feel like when we started, like when we talked about earlier, we've known each other since we were kids. When you're a kid, you don't know any limits. You're just like going crazy. And like, it's a mature thing to have those limits for yourself and to show restraint. That comes with time and maturity. But like for me personally, with our music, it's what you said is like what fills my heart and like my soul. Like that's what I hope for. At the end of the day, like I know we're all gonna die. Like that's just the bottom line. Everyone's gonna end up dead. At this moment in 2019, at this day, at this hour, at this second, this is our time. And our music is a stamp. It's a timepiece. It's a time capsule. Like, I don't know what our music is gonna do. I don't know where it's gonna end up in the future, but when we're long and gone, I would love for someone to hear that and think about, wow, what were they doing back in 2019, 2018? That's what fills it for me, because that's what I think about when I listen to these old bands and like the Strokes or even older bands. Like I listen to the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and I think about, wow, the 60s were crazy, and that's their mark on the universe.
Dude, I feel like 2019 is crazy.
Yeah, dude, and we're a product of our time. Their struggles are gone, and their struggles were theirs. Our struggles are new, and our struggles are now. And when we go into the future, and when we're past, and when we're gone, those people, their struggles will be theirs in their time. And they'll look back and think, damn, like, that's what they were going through. And that's what I want. I want our music to inspire, to be a piece where, like, people look back and think, damn, like, you know, that's what's going on. It's the start and the end of an era all at the same time. Like, that's how I see it. And it's crazy, like, when you start to think about things like that. But yeah, things in this life are finite.
But you want to make music that's gonna like last.
Exactly.
That's gonna like, a lot of shit is like trendy these days.
Yeah.
Like you'll see like a new rapper like pop up into the scene.
Yeah.
And just like follow trends, and it's just like the next year it's like you don't know who they are.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like people are like longing for like connection now. Like shit that they can listen to and that's like real and like you know what I mean? Like you're not making music for like the here and now. You're making music
that will stand the test of time.
Yeah.
And that is a big and heavy endeavor. It's like a huge weight on the shoulders. Like, I'm trying really hard to do that. I feel like we all are. I want our music to be endearing. It's not to be like a shadow of a thought. Like, I know we sound different. We don't sound like a lot of things that are going on right now. But that's okay. Like, they say that success is defined by the individual, but for me, success would be that. Is if our music is endearing, if it can last, if it can penetrate deeply into the soul of the human being. Like, the human condition, no matter what, will never change. Like, we're all gonna live and we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
However long that may be, time will tell, but that is something we all have to live with, and that's something that all connects us, and that's deeply at the root of its core what I want with this band and this music that we make. I want to connect deeply with human beings, now, past, present, future. Like, that's what I want, and that's what I'm trying to achieve with Velvet Collide, and I feel like that's what we're all trying to achieve.
It's tough, man. Everybody's, you know, striving to be the greatest that they can be. But like I said, like I've listened to all the songs that you guys have released so far that I can find, and you know, I'm really stoked for what you guys are gonna do in the future. You know, I really think you guys are making kind of like really like versatile, like eclectic, like music that's just, you know, I can feel the passion. I can feel the passion and everything that you guys do, from the songwriting to, you know, the lyricism to like the energy that's in the songs. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for what you guys are gonna bring in the future, where you guys are gonna go. I really hope you guys kill it. I know you guys are all very talented, and you guys can do anything you want. So with that being said, I want to close this, and new single, August 24th.
Can I stay?
Huh?
Can I stay?
Can I Stay? And man, I literally can't wait. Thank you so much for your time. This was dope. I really had a great time talking to you guys, and man, can only wait and anticipate for all the things that you guys are gonna do.
Dude, amazing. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, man. Velvet Collide, guys.
Stay tuned for more.